Yo, what's up, guys? So, I want to tell you the story about the time I heard the audible voice of God. I've only heard it one time, and it was about, I'd say almost 4 years ago, about 3 years ago when I got saved in 2020. So this was a couple months after I got saved. So, when I got saved, it was about March-ish of 2020 around lockdown. And so, what happened is one day I called out to God. I'm like, God, I can't do this by myself. Like, I'm done doing this by myself. Like, I'm just depressed. I'm done with life. There's no purpose. And then that following month, I seen this video and it was talking about what Jesus did for me, about the price Jesus paid for me. But then it went a step further. It started talking about after Jesus died that he gave up the Holy Ghost. He offered the Holy Ghost and us to be born again and to live and to walk by spirit and truth and to give us a free gift to help us live for God, to help us help me live a new life and to live a transformed life. And I don't know about you, but when I heard that, that touched my heart. And then from that, I started reading the Bible. Man, I'm not a reader, bro. And years ago, my buddy Tori, before he got locked up, he gave me a King James Bible. I don't even know how to speak King James, but I started opening this book up. I looked up online what's a good chapter to start at. So I ended up starting in Luke, finishing Luke and going back and reading all the other Gospels, just because when I read Luke and I heard about what Jesus did for me, I heard about the lashes, all the things that Jesus went through for my sake. Bro, every time I opened up that book and started reading, bro, I just started bawling because of the love of God overflowed on me and touched me. It didn't matter where I was, bro. The love of God just touched me. And from that moment on, there was no doubt in my heart that what I was living, this was the truth. This is the reason that I'm gonna live. This is the reason that this is the purpose I was looking for. And man, from that moment on, bro, I just kept getting deeper and deeper with God, a deeper relationship with God. He just kept teaching me more and more and helping me give up more stuff in my life. And around that time, my uncle passed away, and I was kind of going through it a little bit. That sucked. That was my grandpa slash my dad's brother, so I knew him pretty well, and that sucked. But I remember one day I was out in the kitchen. I think I was making like eggs or something. I don't know what I was making, but I'm over here whipping it up, and I randomly hear this voice, and it says, "Austin." It sounded familiar. It sounded really comforting and deep, and it was like a deep, comforting voice. I immediately went out to my grandpa, and I'm like, "Hey, did you call me?" And he's like, "No, I didn't say anything." And I don't know, God immediately put on my spirit that was his audible voice. And nobody else heard it around me. And I clearly heard it. I remember it till this day. And I remember it was after that I believe I was reading the First Kings, and it was talking about how Samuel heard the audible voice of God, and he went to his master and he was like, "Did you call for me? Did you call for me 3 times?" And he said, No. But this time go back and say, "Lord, your servant is listening. Speak." And that was the experience I had hearing the audible voice of God. And that in that moment, I really needed to hear that. And I'm glad I was able to hear that audible voice of God, because not a lot of people can say they heard that, especially as being a new believer. I have to say, I'm probably one of the first people in my family that's received the Holy Ghost, that's been filled with the Holy Ghost, that's living for God and living in his will, living for him, breaking these generational curses. So that was just a great thing for me, and I'm just blessed to be able to hear the audible voice of God now before I enter paradise. But that's how I heard the audible voice of God. I hope you enjoyed it.